What's up, guys? This is your boy E, and we are back with another video. And so I'm excited to be back, and I appreciate you guys for hanging with me. Make sure that you guys have watched the last video that I just recently put up, because it's really going to tie into the video that I'm going to share now. So if you haven't, make sure you do that. I'm going to provide a link so that you can do that as well. But today, I want to talk to you about how you can overcome your failure. And so we went into mine a little bit, but I want to talk to you about how you can overcome yours. Just give you some tips on that. So hopefully this will encourage you and inspire you to push forward in life. So what can you do to overcome failure? Well, let me first just start out by giving an example about baseball. I used to play baseball, loved baseball, was really good at baseball, and thought I was going to go all the way in baseball, but God had different plans for me. But in baseball, there's many failures. You think about a person who comes up to the plate and strikes out. You think about a pitcher who constantly he's throwing balls, trying to strike people out, and he fails. And people just keep hitting the pitches that he's throwing. You think about the many drop balls that people should have caught, but they didn't. And so there's many failures in baseball, many foul balls that are hit. And when you think about baseball, like the player themselves, if they would have allowed just the strikeout to decimate them and allow them to quit, then they wouldn't really be great baseball players. But psychologically, the player, every great player knows that even though you may have a dry season, even though you may be off a little bit, even though you may have failed a few times, that the next play is around the corner. And so they keep pushing towards the next play because they have a bigger picture and bigger destination in mind. And so that's one thing I would encourage you with is, yeah, you may fail, you may have made some mistakes in the past, but don't let that impact your future. Take advantage of the new opportunities of the present and let that be the thing that helps you overcome the failures of your past. I would also say that one thing you also notice in baseball is that they don't allow failure to become their identity. They don't allow failure to own them. And so just because you fail doesn't make you a failure. And I think that's important. And moving from baseball to basketball, which is one of my favorite sports, when you think about Steph Curry, he could have easily had that mentality in the NBA Finals when he was scoreless for 3 quarters. His brother is scoreless, his teammates are injured, and he's been scoreless for like 3 quarters. But then all of a sudden he erupts and goes off in the 4th quarter and scores all these points to help the Warriors win the NBA final game. And so even though they didn't win the chip, it was still a great game. And what it showed me is that he didn't allow failure to be his identity. That he realized that failure was not the end of his story, but it was the beginning of his comeback story. And it was one of the greatest games in his career. And so you got to remember for yourself that failure is not the end of your story, but it's the beginning of your comeback story. And so instead of allowing failure to be the kryptonite that cripples you, allow it to be the fuel that drives you to success. Think about Thomas Edison. Thomas Edison failed 10,000 times before the one success that he had of creating the light bulb. 10,000 times before the one success that he had of creating the light bulb. And that's important. Many of us, we don't even fail 2 times before we quit. And I think that's important for us to realize is that sometimes those failures will teach you 10,000 ways not to do a certain thing, and then find the one right way to make it work. And so you have to push through those difficult and tough lessons if you really want to be successful. And on that note, Malcolm Gladwell, he wrote a wonderful book called Outliers, and he talks about that you have to put in at least 10,000 hours if you really want to become the master of anything, at least 10,000 hours. And part of those hours are failures, just to be honest. But if you want to become an expert and really succeed, you have to put in the work and realize that failure is all a part of the process. And so another thing I would also say is that for us as Christians, we got to remember that God is with us in the failure. He already knows that we're going to make mistakes, which is why he sent his son, Jesus, to die for our failures, to die for our mistakes, and that his mercy and his grace is new every morning. And he tells us to ultimately rejoice. and ultimately realize that we will be overcomers. Why? Because he has already overcome the world. And so if he's already overcome the world, then guess what? We'll already overcome the world too. So no matter what failures you're experiencing in your life, he is going to complete the work that he began in us if you truly believe in him and have your trust in him. And so look at John 16:33. Let that be some encouragement to you when it comes to failure, and realize that in Christ we have already hit a grand slam and we have already won the game. Like we have already won the victory in Jesus. And so he will complete the work, and our faith will be made sight, and we will reign with him in victory. I recently got a chance to preview Priscilla's new movie, Overcomers. And I'm not going to say much about the movie, but if you get a chance, go see the movie. It's a great movie. And one of the things I like about it is there's an example where a person is struggling and not really completing their athletic goals, but then they get this coach that has already mapped out the course for them. Has already went through the course and knows exactly where this person needs to run, where this person needs to push forward, all those different things. And as a result, this person was able to achieve the goal that they wanted for success. And I think for us, we got to realize that we have a person that's already went before us. Jesus Christ, he's already went before us. He's already ran the race for us, and he's already endured and overcome. And as a result, like we, again, will overcome, and we will be able to reign with him. We will be able to have the victory and share in that joy with him. And so let that be encouragement and motivation for you, that failure is not final, but it's only the beginning of the greatest comeback story ever. And so get ready to be successful, get ready to push forward, and I hope that this has encouraged you and inspired you. And run to God, run to people, have people in your life that can encourage you, that can be your battle buddies, and continue to push on towards the person that you know that you were destined to be. So thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it, feel free to like, subscribe, and share it. And I hope to see you guys next time. Thank you. Peace.